Well, after more than 100 years serving patients in the Northland, Essentia's legacy, St. Mary's Hospital has reached the end of its useful life.
And now we're here at the new St. Mary's Medical Center, which is just across the street, as this building's set to open to the public tomorrow.
Yeah, I sit down with a one-on-one with Essentia CEO, Dr. David Herman, before the grand opening as we discuss the current state of healthcare in the Northland and the vision for future generations of caregivers. Sitting in the heart of downtown Duluth is a new state-of-the-art, nearly 1 million square foot St. Mary's Medical Center.
This building was designed not to be what I would call a medical facility, but what I would call as a place of healing.
The design project started back in 2017. Roughly 6 years later, the brand new building is ready to welcome patients. But getting to this point came with challenges. The initial planning included many factors, from how big should it be to what type of hospital should it be. But one thing was certain: it needed to be part of downtown's skyline.
We have about 25,000 visitors that come to downtown Duluth each day because of St. Mary's Medical Center. So we decided if we want to keep Duluth healthy, which keeps the Arrowhead healthy, we need to build here.
In September of 2019, they broke ground on the side of the hill. Leaders say construction came at a perfect time because just a few months later, the world shut down because of a global pandemic.
The first thing I did was text the governor and the governor's chief of staff, and it was a very nervous 40 minutes before I got a response back that said, no, the project should continue.
From supply chain issues to inflation, the final price tag came out to more than $900 million. The pandemic also forced the Essentia Health leadership team to make changes to its design.
Healthcare changed in the middle of the pandemic. So when we first designed the building, we said, we're going to need 2 floors of critical care beds. We decided in the middle of the pandemic that we will need more than 2 floors of critical care beds.
Doubling its critical care beds from 64 to 128. The 340-patient room hospital offers birthing suites to advanced operating rooms with remote-in technology for doctors.
There are 36 different frit patterns in the glass of this building that keeps birds from hitting the building.
From the technology on the windows to the touchless keypad doors, nothing was overlooked.
There you go.
Changes in healthcare during the pandemic also impacted staffing, forcing difficult discussions on retaining and recruiting employees. Essentia Health leaders say it was important that caregivers, providers, nurses, and doctors were all given a voice in the hospital design.
This was designed by our care providers, for our care providers, to provide the best care they possibly can for our patients, their families, and all that we're privileged to serve.
And just like its legacy building,
everyone that comes here should come with a sense of hope and leave with a sense of well-being.
This new vision for healthcare hopes to serve the Northland and heal patients for generations to come. The hospital will also serve the region as an educational partner for colleges to help train and teach the next generation of healthcare workers, assisting, of course, with their training.